Good morning, welcome to Koenig Equipment. My name is James and I'm here to do a little comparison for you today between the John Deere 1025R and the BX23 Kubota. You'll see a lot of videos out there that talk about the differences between the two, and a lot of people bleed green or bleed orange, so on and so forth. But in this example, I'm just going to compare some of the obvious things that you see, and we'll walk through the equipment itself. Price point between the two, they're within a few $100s of each other, so basically what you're going to be looking at is the overall quality of the machine and the application that you're going to need with these two tractors. First, we'll start out with some obvious things about the John Deere tractor versus the Kubota tractor. When you're doing a front end loader, the John Deere loader or the bucket on the front of this is a little bit wider, a little bit deeper. The Kubota, as you can see, it's a little more narrow than the John Deere itself. As we walk around the John Deere, we'll look at a couple things that are associated with this bucket, and that is this self-leveling tool that's right here. It comes to a knuckle, and when this self-leveler goes down, when this elbow meets this little knot inside of this, the bucket will be level with the ground. There is an adjustment for that. As they bring them in and service them, they level those out so that every time you're on the machine and you're looking down, you can see where it's at. On the Kubota tractor, their leveling mechanism is basically a sticker. You sit on the tractor itself, you look down, you see where it says level indicator, and if that looks level to you from the bucket, then your bucket's level. From the operator's seat, the bucket's level. Another obvious thing about these two tractors is going to be the size. If you look at the wheelbase, front to back on the Kubota tractor, it's about 6 to 7 inches shorter than the John Deere itself. You can see tire height differences between the Kubota and the John Deere, as well as the rear tires. The John Deere stance is a little bit higher. Also, the ground clearance is about 3 inches difference between these two tractors. The quick attach front end loader on the John Deere is a little easier to operate than the Kubota, except for one thing. First, I'll point out how easy it is to get this bucket off. If you notice, these are cast iron arms that we have here. Once you get the pressure off the bucket itself, these two arms will come up. Then it's just a joystick mechanism to move it back and forth. Once that's done, it will be setting on this bar right here, which is considered the loader stand, and it'll stand independently without the tractor being attached to it. The difference between the Kubota loader and this loader on the hydraulics is that once you get this released, you have 4 points of hydraulics you have to release on the John Deere. 1, 2, 3, 4. After you get the pressure off of there, those come off, then you back out, drive away. 3 to 5 minutes tops, you're out of the front end loader on the John Deere. On the Kubota, it has a little bit more work to be done than the other one. The advantage to this one over the John Deere is it has one lever that you pull up and all your hydraulics will come off the tractor itself. So it makes it a little bit simpler than the John Deere. Now they do make an aftermarket feature for the John Deere that you can put one of those applications on this tractor, so it's just a one lever pull and you can release your hydraulics. On the Kubota loader, I do want to point out that it is a little more difficult to get this machine off. As far as the freestand goes, you have to get off of the tractor. There's a lever here that'll bring the stand mechanism, and that is an option on this loader. Also, most Kubota standard loaders, they are a bolt-on bucket. A pin does not have to be released to get it off. It just stays on there. You have to take the bolt out to get the bucket off. On the John Deere, it's a quick release. This pin comes off, comes out, and then this bucket is released. Once this is lowered down, you can leave the bucket set by itself, put your other attachments on the front of the tractor itself. One advantage over the Kubota over the John Deere, advantage and disadvantage. If you notice the station on the Kubota, it's a little bit wider, a flatter surface. On the John Deere tractor, if you take a look at the John Deere floor mats, there's a hump in the center of this, and it's a little bit more confined. However, the pedals are out of the way, where on the Kubota, you have a forward pedal, which is a treadle pedal, and a reverse. So this pedal has the capability of catching your feet as well as the parking brake lever. Kind of gets in the way. But I kind of like the open stage because a little more room. I'm a bigger guy. So, however, the John Deere does have nice capacity as far as seating goes, standard feature on John Deere is this nice high quality seat with the armrest. Kubota, that's an option. Another thing about the open station is that there's 2 work lights on the John Deere that are standard part of the R package with the 1025R, and basically it has all the lighting packages that come with it. Where the Kubota, not so much, does not have that. Kubota's backhoe is a quick detach. So is John Deere. I don't have a backhoe on this one because I didn't have one today. So for comparison's sake, I'll just tell you that John Deere makes the same setup in a tractor loader backhoe package, just like Kubota does a tractor loader backhoe package. It is quick disconnect. John Deere's quick disconnect. They both come off about the same. A little bit more time involved in getting this one off because of the arms and the way the hydraulics work. The 3-point hitch on the back of the John Deere is a PTO system on the bottom. Up underneath here is where your PTO shaft would hook up and go to your equipment. And then these 3-point arms are going to hold just about anything you have. A lot of you out there probably use a quick hitch, which I highly recommend you do a quick hitch. You can just get in and off your attachments. It actually connects these 3 points to one thing, and then you just back up, pick up the equipment, and you're moving on to your next piece. So it's pretty simple to do. You're going to see that John Deere has a little bit better horsepower PSI wise on your hydraulics. The Kubota has a little bit stronger PSI. Your load on the bucket, when you're doing a load on the front and the back or on the front of the tractors themselves, John Deere will pick up approximately 100 more pounds than the Kubota does. There are a couple things about the hydraulics I want to point out, and then I'll let you folks make your decision on which tractor you'd like to buy. I'll go ahead and start this up real quick. I want you to notice that at an idle, when I start this tractor, how quick the hydraulics work the front bucket. So, at an idle, doesn't move too bad. Now we're going to do the same thing on the Kubota. So what does that really mean? I just think it speaks to the initial hydraulics and having to run a higher RPM on the Kubota in order to get the same results that you're getting from the John Deere at a baseline RPM. But overall, the John Deere seems to outweigh the Kubota just by overall stance, height, width, stability, and everything of that nature. The tractor just seems to be a little bit better quality than the Kubota tractor. Make your decision.